Hello again, everyone. This is Mr. Crawford. Today I'm discussing Integrated Maths Practice 11, which is Multiplying Binomials Level 2. We multiplied binomials on practice number 9. Those were some of the easier versions. Today we are going to level up and do some of the harder kinds. So what can make multiplying binomials a little more complicated? Well, for starters, if they ever have leading coefficients. Coefficients are numbers that go in front of variables, like the 2 in front of the x or this 4 in front of the x. It doesn't change the process of multiplying, however. You still have to multiply the first terms, but 2 times 4 would give you an 8, and this x is still x squared. The most common mistake I see is that students think 2x times 4x is 8x. It isn't. It's 8x to the second power. 2x times a positive 1 is a positive 2x. 3 times 4x is a positive 12x. And 3 times 1 is 3. Two terms in the middle are like terms. 2x and 12x will combine to make 14x. So we get 8x squared plus 14x plus 3. Second one, 5x times 1x would be a 5x squared. 5x times 7 would be 35x. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. And negative 2 times positive 7 is negative 14. Two like terms in the middle combine to make 33x. So we got 5x squared plus 33x minus 14. Okay. I'll leave you guys to do that third one if you can. Also, a binomial squared. If you ever take a binomial and raise it to the second power, the most common mistake students make is they think that you're supposed to take each individual term and square it. Like x to the second power is x squared, and 4 to the second power is 16. But this is not correct. Okay? A binomial to the second power means you need to write it out twice. There are 2 of those. And then make it go through the FOIL method. X times x is x squared. X times 4 is 4x. 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times 4 is 16. Two like terms in the middle combine to make 8x, so we get x squared plus 8x plus 16. So, next one, x minus 5 squared would be x minus 5 times x minus 5. X times x, x squared. X times negative 5, negative 5x. Negative 5 times x, negative 5x. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. Two like terms in the middle combine, we end up with negative 10x in the middle. So x squared minus 10x plus 25. Okay, go ahead and try that last one on your own. If you have any questions about any of the ones I'm leaving off the video, feel free to come ask me. I'll be glad to help you out and show you how it's done. Multivariable binomials also confuse students. Whenever you have to multiply 2 different letters, remember that if you were to ever ask to multiply x times y, for example, well, that just makes xy. So keep that in mind as we go through this. X times x is x squared. X times 3y would give you a positive 3, and because these are 2 different letters, x and y, we just write them side by side. Y times x, you might call that yx, but we usually go alphabetical from left to right in algebra. So instead of yx, I'm going to call it xy. And y times 3y is positive 3y squared. Two like terms in the middle, if you combine them, you will get 4xy's. Second one, again, this is a binomial squared. It has multiple variables in it. So we got 2a minus 3b times 2a minus 3b. 2a times 2a is 4a squared. 2a times a negative 3b is a negative 6ab. Negative 3b times 2a is negative 6ab again. Negative 3b times negative 3b, positive 9b squared. 2 terms in the middle are like terms. They're both AB's. Combine them, we'll get 4a squared minus 12ab plus 9b squared. All right. Moving on down, nonlinear binomials. Anytime the x is to a power besides 1, always remember that when x's, or any letter for that matter, are multiplying each other, their exponents will add. So x to the 4th times x to the 6th would be x to the 10th, for instance. Over here, we have x to the 3rd times x to the 1st. The 3 and the 1 would make 4. X to the third times a negative 4, negative 4x to the third. 2x squared times x would be 2x to the third. And 2x squared times a negative 4 would be a negative 8x squared. Like terms in the middle, both are x to the thirds. We combine them. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. So we get x to the fourth minus 2x to the third minus 8x squared. Next one, x to the second times x to the second would be x to the fourth. X squared times a positive 5 is a positive 5x squared. Negative 5 times x squared is a negative 5x squared. Negative 5 times positive 5 is negative 25. The two terms in the middle are like terms, and they end up canceling each other out. So we end up with x to the fourth minus 25. When you have to multiply 3 binomials, you're going to focus on the first two. We're going to multiply these, get an answer, then drop this third one and multiply the answer times that one. So we start with x plus 2 times x plus 3. X and x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is 6. 3x and 2x in the middle make 5x. So we get x squared plus 5x plus 6. Put that back in parentheses. Drop down that third binomial, the x plus 4. And now we're going to multiply again. Every single term in the trinomial here has to multiply both of these terms in the binomial. So x squared multiplies x and gives us x to the third power. X squared multiplies the positive 4 to give us a positive 4x squared. 5x's turn, he multiplies the x and we get a positive 5x squared. When the 5x multiplies the 4, we get 20x. 6 finally. 6 times the x would give us a 6x. 6 times the 4 would give us a 24. Notice that now we have two different sets of like terms. These x squareds, these x's. So we get x to the third plus 9x squared plus 26x plus 24 by the time we're done. All right. Give those other two a try over here, see what you get. Once again, if you need help, feel free to come ask me during class or during PLT, and tune in for part 2, and we'll see the backside.